Aloha guys, this is Yolanda Racinos, your local realtor here in Oahu, and today I'm super excited to be interviewing my friend Chris Abazis, who is a business coach, but also I want to say he's a life coach because he can help you in all types of situations, whether it's
but business is part of life, isn't it?
So Chris, thank you for being here with me.
My pleasure.
Community. Chris, how are you?
Every day above ground is a good day. It's my tragic flaw, but yeah, I'm good. Life is good. I'm always good, right? Isn't it terrible?
That's awesome. So Chris, I'm going to ask you a few questions. And so let's start with, where are you originally from?
So I grew up in Long Island. I was raised out there. I graduated high school, moved to Manhattan to go to school. Then I got kicked out of college after about 2.5 years. Got my real estate license in Queens and figured I would do that until I figured out what I wanted to be when I grew up. And now I'm in Jupiter, Florida. I moved here this year. So pretty much that was it. You know, New York to Jupiter, Florida.
So Chris, so when we met, you were doing real estate, but you were also doing a lot of classes. You were teaching, you were coaching. Are you still doing that in Florida?
I haven't been in real estate sales since 2010. Where I was running an office, and I left that in probably 16, 17, around the time we met, to just coach and speak full time. So that's what I do 100% of the time. And most of the people I work with are in the real estate industry at some capacity, but that's it.
And so, I mean, I think I already know the answer, but why did you choose to go more in coaching and leave the real estate aside? What is that your passion? Would you say that's really more?
Yeah, I loved, my favorite part about sales was being able to help people realize their dreams, get people into homes, help them solve problems. And then I became really passionate about developing other people and, newer agents to the business. And that's when I decided to kind of make that transition. I thought I could affect more change, more positive change to the world if I was able to.
Yeah. No, and you're really good at it. I mean, I know that you have a few things going on. Talk to us about your momentum, your coaching.
So yeah, the most of my private clients have been people that have teams or broker owners or managers or mortgage branch managers, and kind of people that I help them with leverage, mostly systems, tools, and people. And that private coaching gets kind of expensive. So what do you do for the new people? And then I had a couple of clients that were like, hey, can you put something together for my agents, right? For newer people. And newer people kind of have the same questions all the time. And it's a combination between training, how do you do things, and coaching, what do I need to do now? So I put together the group coaching program where we get, rather than one-on-one, really custom tailored, it's kind of a group thing, and everybody gets in there and they express their challenges and they express their wins, and we kind of celebrate it each week. And then we say, okay, like what's real important for us to tackle and deal with? And then we give goals each week for them to take actions, and we measure those results. And the idea is for newer people just to kind of learn what to do, go out there and practice it, and get the momentum to go and keep going, because that's the idea. We want everybody to get to a place where they're like, my business is going crazy, what do I do now? Which is typically, that's where I would take the person from, when mostly it's like, oh my God, I'm driving this car, I don't have a steering wheel, and everything's going crazy, what do I do? So now I have this group program for people that are like, how do I do that? What do I need to do next? Where do I go from here?
That's awesome. I've joined a couple of your sessions, and I find it really interesting and also motivating. And at the same time, I love the accountability part.
It's a combination of things. I think on the front end, we kind of get lost in all the things that we could be doing instead of really focusing on the thing that we should be doing or what's really important, right? So we try to simplify it, really make it so that it's like, okay, what's super important for you to do this week? Like if we fast forward a week from today, and it was a great week, what new development happened in your business? What new success? And there could be in the amount of conversations that you've had, the amount of appointments that you've had. And it forces you it forces you to say, you know what, let me slow down and think about this, because otherwise we'll just be busy being busy. And then the accountability end of it is next week we'll say, hey, Yolanda, you said that this week you would nail it if you talked to 10 people, 5 for sale by owners, 5 expireds. How'd that go? And just the fact that, you have that expectation that in this group, we're going to kind of shine a light on it and check in on it. I think it causes people, I know for me personally, it's easier for me to do things for other people. I would not be able to do all this stuff unless I had these other people relying on me. Like if you told me I had to sit down and, put together reports and stuff for myself, I would never do it. But if I had to do it for other people and other people rely on me, I perform at a higher level. So it's the accountability of kind of, you're setting the goals yourself, and then we're shining a light on it. We're kind of saying how'd it go? And then you have different results that come out of that. And out of taking the action comes, here's what went really well. And this went really well. And here was my successes. Here's where I ran into some roadblocks and some challenges. And then we can adjust what we do, tweak new skills, new habits, and then move forward and continue to track. So the idea is we're constantly making small adjustments. It doesn't work unless you're taking the action, though, right? There's 2 aspects to what we're talking about. So I have on the leadership side, which is really what I started dealing with first. There's been attorneys that I've helped, insurance people, new business owners, and I help them kind of put their organizational structure in place if they need to hire people. And really, I help them create and install systems, right? Using systems and technologies and stuff like that so they can scale their business. On the sales side of it, it's, because every industry kind of has sales, or where can I find my client or customer? And on the sales side of it, it comes down to, lead generation and accountability. Where is my customer or client? How am I going to reach out to them in a form of prospecting, actively going out and getting it, or marketing, putting together some kind of attraction plan to get your phone to ring or to get the leads to come in, and figuring out who that is, getting it to them, and then servicing them. So then there's a servicing element. So those kinds of principles work across all industry. And typically, when I do it outside of real estate, it's with somebody that's a business owner. It's with somebody that wants to hire salespeople or hire administrators, or if they want to create training programs. So I've done sales training programs for other industries. They've brought me in to do sales trainings, and we talk about behavior profiles, and we talk about language and NLP and all that kind of stuff. It works across the board. And then I help them develop their own training programs, because ideally I'd rather develop somebody in your group to be able to do it right at a high level than for me to keep coming in and doing it. So I know it's crazy, right? Like I'm looking to make myself useless as fast as possible, right? And it's like, hey, Chris, we don't need you anymore. It's like mission accomplished, right? Which is kind of counterintuitive with regards to business, but that's really what I'm about. Yeah. Before, when I was in Queens, and I had been making this transition for a while now. I used to do group coaching programs for offices, just like the Momentum group coaching. I would do it in offices, which required me to go there, and I had a group there. And I was slowly transitioning everything to Zoom with the intention that I was going to be relocating at some point. So I got to the point, all my private clients were on Zoom or phone calls. I moved my groups to Zoom. The only thing that I was showing up for live was live speaking engagements, which for me, that was the only thing that I would be traveling for, speaking to live groups, which was also a huge lead generation thing for me. And when COVID happened, I had actually come to Florida for a trip. And while I was here, stuff hit the fan in New York and everything got canceled. I literally had a speaking engagement booked in Albany 2 weeks after that, that got canceled. I had one booked in Long Island that got canceled. We had stuff booked for Tampa, Atlanta, Washington, D.C. All these things got canceled, but very quickly, everything kind of moved to Zoom. And I had already been talking to, people that put events together about this idea of virtual speaking engagements. So immediately people were like, hey, remember when you mentioned that? Can you still do that? Yeah, I could do that. I'm all set up 100% to do that. And then we took it to the next level. I mean, we had our Social Ninja Media group that we had a little tour. We had like 4 or 5 things booked throughout the year. And then we said, let's just bring this thing online. We did it in July. I think you were there. and it was a great event. And then that grew, and now Pierre's setting up virtual conferences with private rooms and speed business dating and all that kind of stuff, like networking. And it's really with live DJs, and it's kind of a cool thing.
Tell us real quick, what is Social Ninja Media?
It's Social Ninja Media. So it's me and a couple other friends. We're speakers, and I'm no social ninja. Everyone's got their different skills. So I was a video guy. I was a front end video guy, right? So it just started. It was just a collection of speakers. We bumped into each other. We became friends. We were young. We shared tips and had cutting edge stuff. And we were like, man, this would be cool stuff to share with people. So we started doing these events, and then they started to grow, and then we started to bring in more speakers. So now we're always meeting new people. They're like, wow, you really crush it with YouTube. Tell us more about that. Oh, you're the LinkedIn person, So we bring in all these different experts. We pick their brains, and then we want to share it with the community, right? With the real estate community, with the business community. And then we recently, must have been, it was a couple months ago, we made a Facebook group just to kind of, just keep everything in one place so that we can keep it going in between. And so we have that Facebook group, Social Ninja Media, and it's all business owners that want to use social media in their business. So we share tips on videos and technologies and little apps and tools and things that you can do. Hacks, I hate to use that word, but people are like, oh, social media hacks, but people seem to understand what that means. And it's just like a little community that we've grown, like a little brand, which is a couple of us. It's me, Jeremiah's J-Man Monero, who's the live video guy, and then we got Ifoma Pierre, who is the marketing guru. So talking about Facebook ads, ad copy, technology, landing pages, all that stuff. So he's got all that. But I remember when I ran an office, in a single month, there was an agent there that I signed $40,000 worth of checks for that were all referrals. Referrals, right? And I asked him, I said, well, Marco, how do you get all these referrals? And he's like, social media. He networks with other realtors, right? And then sure enough, in any realtor group, when somebody's like, hey, is there a good agent in Queens? It's like, oh, Marco. And I'm like, and then people would tag me because they knew me. And I'm like, yeah, Marco, he's one of my guys over here, right? So there's definitely a huge opportunity, but again, you have to be on purpose about it. Like anything else, one thing at a time, start there and see what works for you, right? If you're not good on the phone, don't make phone calls. If you're not good with social media and technology, don't start there. Don't try to learn that. Just stay in your lane. Look for somebody that's doing it at a high level and said, you know what, I can do what that guy does, what that girl does. That's the kind of business person I could be. I could see myself doing that, right? And then just follow the model and perfect it. And then as you gain momentum, okay, great. So now I have some money coming in. Now I can reinvest into my business in the form of education. Let me learn something new. In the form of lead generation or marketing. Okay, I had a lot of success with calling. So now I'm going to spend money on a 3-line dialer so I can make even more calls or get some data. Or I had a lot of success with my videos are getting a lot of traction on social media. So let me be on purpose about the videos I make. And now let me put some money behind it to get them in front of new people, right? So, I'm really good at answering these questions. Let me build my YouTube channel, right? And then let me put some money behind that, right? So there's all these things you could do. It's just one step at a time. Really being super clear about your direction and where you want to go and how to get there. And that's how coaching and training helps you, right? So it's like, you don't need to figure it out on your own. There's people that have done it before you and had the pain and have had the successes, right? And it's as long as you get the value from it. That's the idea. Is like, how is it worth my time? Because I think time is the biggest investment, right? And is it worth any money that I spend on my business? Am I getting a multiple back on that? And it's hard to think about all the personal development that you do over the course of a year. It's hard to tie it back to like a monetary metric sometimes. But if you really give it a good look, you'd be like, okay, I am where I am because of the things that I know. And I know the things that I know because I've done these things, right? So I think it works well.
Before I let you go, how can the local community reach out to you?
Well, so chrisabazis.com goes to my link tree, which is, if you don't know about Linktree, there's a little tech tip. It's a one website that's got all of your, your Facebook, your Instagram, your website. So you can go to that, and it's got 5 different ways to get in contact with me. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. My website's Dream Key Consulting, or bettercallchris.com if you want to set up a 30-minute consultation. There's all kinds of stuff out there. You'll find me. I'm very easy. School me.
I love it. Well, I'm definitely going to add it on here. I'll add your information as well so people can reach out to you. I just want to thank you.
My pleasure.
So much information. And I want to thank the local community for being here with us. This is Yolanda Racinos, your local realtor. And remember, you can always find me on all my social platforms. And also on my YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube.
I got to get on that one.
I'll be posting more videos as well, because all this information it's just great information to have. Thank you so much, and mahalo.
Mahalo.